So I'm making this video because I've noticed an uptick on infighting in multiple spaces, not just, you know, the manosphere and all these places, but in multiple spaces all over YouTube. Now, here's why. Okay, I'm gonna break it down. This is a phenomenon, right? YouTube in itself is a phenomenon where people can build a community, they can build a platform, they can build up an audience off this platform, right? Now, here's the thing. What type of audience are you building? You know, you build it, they will come, but what type of people are coming? Now, there's something, I can't remember, it was Diamond Dave or somebody used to say it all the time, misery topics. If you're talking about misery topics, you're going to bring miserable people around you, right? Or what we say, a sea of complainers, right? A sea of complainers, right? What does that mean? A bunch of people who aren't going to change their life, aren't going to do any different, but want to complain, right? So what ends up happening is, depending on what type of community you've built, is some of the results some of these people are getting out of these communities. Prime example, if you build a platform where you're the expert and you bring other experts on your channel, that's something I do. I'm the expert in my one thing. I bring other people with their expertise, Tech Tuesdays, different shows, types of shows. I bring them on and I let them speak and I interview them. And now, because I vouch for them, I've introduced them to my audience. Sometimes we're in a type of affiliated partnership, etc., etc. Make money off each other. It is a positive win-win scenario. It's a win-win scenario, and that's what you need out here, is a win-win scenario. Another type of platform people build on is podcasts, where it's two people, you know, energy bouncing off each other. Another type one is where it's an open forum, right? O'Shea did a great job years ago on building a platform where several people could talk on a particular topic, and he would referee to some degree and also bring his own opinion. And some people, you know, some people are grateful for that opportunity, some people are not. But what ends up happening when you have an open forum and somebody feels like, I'm so smart, I should be able to say what I want when I want, I'm just going to start my own channel, start my own conversation. Well, then you have this sporadic, broken, crumbled pieces of people who all they're going to keep doing is talking about what the main person said. And that's what you've seen. You've seen over the past year, people that really don't have experience, they don't go out and live life, they don't interact with anybody, they don't have children, they don't really have relationships with women, and, you know, their conversation is broken and fragmented, right? It's a one-piece conversation that not everybody's into, okay? So there was a reason why the platform technique O'Shea used was so great, why the Rumbles worked, why I would even get on there. It was engaging, it was energetic, yada, yada, yada. But here's the issue. You know, it's like the Avengers, right? You assemble all the Avengers together. But at the end of the day, Captain America and Black Panther are the strongest two people. Listen, I don't care what you say about, what is his name on there? The guy with the stone in his chest, Iron Man, and all these other people. They were components, yes, but the strongest two, physically strongest, were Black Panther, and that's in the comic books and in the movies, Captain America, okay? And what ends up happening is whenever you have a forum style, people all think they're all Avengers. Everybody's an Avenger. We're all Avengers. We made the team. When really, that's never really true. You got some heavy hitters, right? And I'm gonna call him out for this, but I think it's because of growth and building the platform, reinvesting into their business. Anthony Brian Logan's almost at 1 million. His audience is predominantly not black; it's white. Okay, and put his picture here, Peter, or whatever. Donovan Sharp's audience is, you know, mostly white. You know, a lot of these people, when you actually look at them, individual Avengers, however you want to talk about it, their audiences are completely different. They're different types of audiences. But here's the key component. If you have a bunch of people who think they're Avengers, and then eventually, what do the Avengers do in the movie? They fight each other. Occasionally, Hulk fights somebody, this person fights somebody. They fight each other. Why? Because they're fighting for this dominance that, you know, they ain't never going to beat up Captain America. They ain't never going to beat Black Panther. But they've got to give a good fight to show you they're some type of Avenger, right? Now, when it comes to building community, see, this is the thing. You can't have a shaky foundation and think the community is going to work. And the community has to have a focus. That's why at the Classy Climb, our community is about investing from your cell phone, having opportunities from your cell phone, investing in land, building a business, getting a higher paid job. These are very positive focus activities. So if I have a conference, guess who's at the conference? Positive focus, motivating activity going people. That's why at some of my conferences, people have been able to partner together and they work together. Outside of me, completely outside of me, working together. Great. Love it. That's what we want, right? Because the community has to have a goal. What's the goal of the community? When you don't have a community goal, you don't have a community, right? Dr. Claude Addison, put his picture here, Peter. He's been talking about the same thing for I think he's 80 years old, 45 years. Start a business, make more income so that you can buy your politicians. Once you buy your politicians, then you can buy the schools, you can buy the everything. You can buy all these things when you get that money on that bottom floor. Nobody wants to agree about the fact that you got to build the bottom floor. All these hoteps, we've been inundated over the internet. Let me give you this knowledge, sister. Brother, can you give me knowledge on why you don't own your own home and why you live with your grandma? If you can't give me knowledge on that, I don't want to hear it. If you can't give me knowledge why 50% of black men in Chicago are unemployed, I don't want to hear it. Because this system we are in is a capitalistic society. So even if I got every single black man that wanted to be married and wanted to have a family, I put them all together and they got married tomorrow. Guess what? We still got to fight. Money. We still got to do the money thing. We still got to do the money thing. So that is why that's always been my mantra. I've grew up in a family where business wasn't this exotic thing, this boss chick, boss lady thing. No, it's just a normal everyday life, right? When you start having family members who are blue collar, plumbers, welders, construction guys, handymen, you realize business isn't all that strange. It's not this weird, strange, exotic thing, right? We're out here giving other communities this mantle that they're so great because their community has a bunch of business owners. When really, you would not want to change places with Mr. Ming, who's cooking food all day, with Mr. Vietnamese man who's scrubbing feet all day. You wouldn't want to change spots with him. So let's not act like we glorify all businesses. A lot of people glorify being the ability to buy a nice car and go on vacations. That's what they're glorifying. The appearance of relaxation, not the work part. Okay? So when you start coming on these platforms and one or two of the Avengers really are doing well financially, right? The other people want to fight them now, subconsciously and subconsciously, because they can't seem to figure out, well, how do I make the money too? That's why you have all these channels of these 19, 20-year-old men who ain't never had a girlfriend, ain't never had a baby mama, ain't never had no relationship, quoting and repeating Kevin Samuels' talking points. And this man's 55 years old, or 52. I don't want to be disrespectful. Kevin Samuels is a grown man with 2 divorces and children and all that other stuff. You got 19-year-olds repeating word for word and going to other people's channels and repeating word for word like a parrot what people say, even if it's outrageous and ridiculous, because they think that's the way for them to be the best Avenger. They think that's the best way for them to become Iron Man. Put Iron Man up here, Peter. Put it on the screen. They think that's the best way for them to be Miles, the Black Spider. Put the Black Spider-Man up here. They think that's how they're going to take the mantle. And that's if you read 48 Laws of Power, put that book here, Peter, 48 Laws of Power, that is a lose-lose situation, right? That's not a win-win. A win-win is we come together, we're in a partnership, we're talking about conversation pieces that move somewhere. They have some destination, right? They're not endless circle conversations, which you would notice that on Rumble by the 3rd hour, 4th hour, we done circled around the wagon 22 times. Right? But people felt like I wasn't heard enough, so I'm gonna go start my own channel where I don't have my face up there and I just talk crazy for 3 hours, right? There's several people I've seen their channels over the years where they jump in their car and talk crazy all the time, but they never invested in their channel as far as to elevate it, to grow it, to put graphics on it, to have some destination, to have a book to sell, to have a course to sell, not even to sell, just to have a free Facebook group or something where their community could meet together. That's no movement. That's stagnant water. Things that are stagnant don't go anywhere, and they don't go anywhere positive. So when you keep saying, why these people keep fighting with each other, that don't make no sense to me. It's because they're stagnant. They can't go anywhere in the conversation. They can't do anything. They're not moving forward in life. Right? While people, and I'm being really honest, I've had to slap my own hand. I've seen people in the past 2 to 3 years that started me and said, Ericka, come on over here, forget those trucks. Come over here and focus on real estate. In those 3 years, they own multiple apartments, multiple real estate, built multiple brand new construction. They've done a ton of stuff in 3 years. So depending on how you want to spend your 3 years is important. A lot of people blew up off the STEMI money businesses. I did a video on. They started their business and their YouTube channel and their Instagram right at the right time and blew up. But you got people out here been talking about the same topic for 10 years, stagnant. No growth in their personal life, no growth in their business. Why? Because of what they're talking about and the type of community they're bringing around each other. They have no direction. It's barbershop talk going in circles for years. And that's why you see certain people of the Avengers have completely broken off and have gone to new levels, right? You know, again, Anthony Brian Logan, you know, having his own panels, you know, doing his own thing, growing his channel, continually focused and reinvesting in his business, right? You got to ask your audience to do something, to go somewhere, to commit to something. What are you asking your audience to commit to? Right? And this is why I point this out every day. If y'all look at some of these channels, these people are Gen Xers. They're not millennials. They're Gen Xers in their 40s and 50s talking about topics that they talked about in their 20s and 30s with nowhere to go. Stagnant, in circles. The old dude in the club conversations. Old barbershop heads conversations. Over and over. Right? You'll have a younger 20, 30-year-old dude who knows how to do some graphics, do some editing. What's his name? Mediocre reviews or testimonials. Put his picture up here, Peter. You have people come out of nowhere who were in the background and it was like, okay, well, I'll just go do my own thing and actually do it with some quality, with some style, with some whatever you want to pizzazz, and do the business side of things. See, a lot of people get mad at somebody who's making money off this because they treat it like a business, but you treat it like a hobby. You out here treating it like a hobby, just throwing the camera up in the car. Yeah, I'm doing that right now, but you get what I'm saying. Throwing the camera up in the car or doing something very basic and janky, doing 6-hour hangouts, right? Doing these crazy things, but you don't really treat it like a business so that you can be paid and you can be compensated. And that your audience can get something from it. Some of y'all so smart. I mean, y'all can literally put books together. Every year, put a book out. And you would be further along than many folks. A call to action. Something. Right? But it depends on what you build your community off of. And I feel like we are always late to the game in certain communities. We're late to the game on how to build businesses. We're late to the game on how to do courses. We're late to the game on how to properly build YouTube channels. You know, even when you know that YouTube does some funny business in the space, they do funny business with the channels and the algorithm. Many of you have told me you've had to resubscribe to my channel multiple times. Well, then you go, okay, well, because I value this like a business and I have a product for customers who need a product, what I'm going to do is run ads on a second channel, right? Unlisted channel, basically, and make that money consistent streams of income money so that when I do the channel, it's not out of, as Diamond Dead said, economic desperation. It's because I want to. It's because I want to give you something quality. It's because I want to interact with you, right? One of the worst things I see is when sometimes they'll do the channel like, oh, you broke blah blahs, I hate doing work for y'all. I would always cringe when I heard that because I'm like, you're insulting your audience and they're here and they're super chatting and they're working with you, right? Say what you will about Kevin Samuels, them people super chatting 50, 100 bucks, you know, those are his community. If he ever wants to start doing events with that said community and charging them for it, they would pay for it. Right? So again, the system is the free videos, People super chat, people get in the community, people get membership. Then it's books, okay? Then it's courses, then it's events. You know, it's a system to follow. It's been blueprinted by many people. Many people have blueprinted this system all over YouTube. I heard a man the other day say something crazy as hell, talking about how this YouTuber took off for 2 years and his channel kept going. I was like, man, this dude is goofy. This man been running ads on Facebook and YouTube for the 2 years he's been on break. Because when you run the paid traffic and it's consistent and it's making him a ton of money, because I could tell he's making a ton of money from his ads, because I saw that ad everywhere. Not just retargeted to me, but on other people's laptops, other people's conversations, at different speaker events. He was speaking at events, Sam Owens. I knew he was running paid traffic like crazy. So he didn't have to come on YouTube and do these videos. The paid traffic was bringing him consistent clients. It was bringing him new people into the funnel. It was bringing new people into his business. So, and again, that comes from having a product and having a community that actually wants to do something and go somewhere in life. You can't be mad when your community that you've built of whatever topic you want to talk about is not productive and is not paying you. There's one man who for a long time would always be angry with his audience because they weren't super chatting him. And he's like, I do this for the money. Well, baby, if you do it for the money, all this stuff needs to be changed, adjusted. You need to run it like a business, not like a place where you rant in circles. So, I mean, I'm hoping this makes sense to y'all. Put a 1 in the comments if it makes sense to you. I'm really trying to give y'all business game over and over and over again until it's like I brainwash you. So I'm going to just tell you right now, if you're watching this channel, I'm trying to brainwash you, okay? Because I feel like a lot of times, a lot of y'all are really talented. And I'll see y'all in other spaces. Like, you know, a part of my business technique is I go super chat other people's channels just because it brings marketing back to my channel, right? You know, another person that does this is Him 500. Several other people. They run around YouTube and super chat in a bunch of people's audience. And it's cheaper than running full-time ads. It's the same effect, but cheaper. And so when I see the same people in all these spaces, I'm like, baby, you watching YouTube for hours every night. You all over YouTube. People say the same thing. Ericka, you all over YouTube. Nah, boo-boo, I'm just literally super chatting and investing in different spaces, right? But I actually go out and live my life, and I build a community that's positive, that actually wants to do stuff. You know what I mean? And so I hope, if nothing else, y'all have learned by watching my channel, that's what I'm doing, right? That's what I'm building. And so, but some of y'all are so talented, you could build your own platform. You could build your own space. And you could build community in the right way. So again, this is, you know, like even the one guy who's been repeatedly doxxed over and over, where they're showing where he had check fraud and he's overweight and his wife is older than him and she's a baby mama. You know, he kept on going. He just kept on going. You know why? Because he has a community. It's the same thing that happens to anybody that gets, you know, doxxed or exposed or whatever. You know, they'll just keep going. Because, why? Because most people don't treat it like a business. They don't keep going. They treat it like a hobby. So it's easy for them to just fall off. I just want you to understand, when you say, why are all these people arguing back and forth? Why can't people promote and put something together? Because your content has to be about that. You have to be building an actual community of positive, motivating, going somewhere folks. If you're not building that, then you will not get that. So anyways, I hope this video was instructional. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. And I hope we get a kind of end to the infighting, because really what the infighting shows you is, you know, I don't really have a real business model. So my business model is to bite off you, right? That's why you see this guy who's supposed to be an accountant, and he's out here making videos like, I'm catching scammers, I'm catching them. And you watch it and you're like, him and like 2 or 3 other people who do videos like that, they're making all this money and super chats off people in the audience too afraid to make a decision left or right. Right? So they're like, tell us more about people that are out to get us in the middle of the night like a boogeyman. And it's goofy. It's goofy. It's goofy. Right? They did a great video today talking about economic desperation. People be desperate, right? There's this old saying, you couldn't be scammed unless you were looking to be scammed. Unless you were looking to get something for nothing. Unless you were looking to get over on somebody. How can they scam you if you weren't doing those things? 9 times out of 10, that person can't be honest with you because that's what they were looking for. They were looking to put their money in something, do no work, and get 10 extra turns. They were looking to do a lottery type situation. There's nothing you can put your money in that doesn't require work or some type of sacrifice on your part. There's no guaranteed anything out here in this world, not a thing. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classy Climb Blog. Please be out here building positive circles, right? All right, you guys have a great night.